Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I actually have a requested video for you, and we are going to be going through the two different reading orders for the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. The Before the Coffee Gets Cold series by Toshikazu Kawaguchi really did take the UK by storm, and as there is a new book coming out by Toshikazu Kawaguchi very soon, and I hadn't actually realised at the start of this year, but I have now pre-ordered it after I was just doing some research for this video and then found a new one coming out. I have done full book reviews of the first 5 books in the series, and I will review the 6th, which is the new book coming out, once I have read it. But for today, there are actually 2 different ways you can read this series. One is publication order, and the second is actually chronological order of the age range within the books themselves. So I'm going to tell you guys the 2 different ways. I'll read you the blurbs and also give you a rough overview of the books. So let's get into it. Before we get into that, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. Your continued support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. Okay, publication order. This will be the way that most people have read this series, as it's the order that they came out in. So let's start with that. The first book in the series is the Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and this is the book that started it all. I will read you guys the blurb for this first, and then we'll go into my stars out of 5 that I gave this book. In a small back alley in Tokyo, there is a cafe which has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. But this coffee shop offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel back in time. In Before the Coffee Gets Cold, we meet 4 visitors, each of whom is hoping to make use of the cafe's time-traveling offer, in order to confront the lover who left, receive a letter from their husband whose memory has begun to fade, see their sister one last time, and meet the daughter they never got a chance to know. But the journey into the past does not come without risks. Customers must sit in a particular seat, they cannot leave the cafe, and finally they must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. Toshikazu Kawaguchi's beautiful, moving story explores the age-old question, what would you change if you could travel back in time? More importantly, who would you want to meet, maybe for one last time? Like probably most people watching this video who have read this series, this was my first ever Toshikazu Kawaguchi read, and I gave it 5 stars out of 5. I absolutely loved the concept of this video, and I actually think it may have been the first Japanese translated literature I read, so this is really the book that got me into reading translated literature. The one thing I will say is, of course, one of the things that made me pick up this book was the cat on the cover. There's no cat in this book. I am still awaiting the arrival of this cat because they appear on all of the covers. Where's my cat, Toshikazu? Continuing in publication order, book 2 is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. I'll read you guys the blurb for this one. Hidden down a side street in Tokyo, Cafe Funakuli Funakula boasts many things: good coffee, good conversation, and a friendly cast of regulars. But the cafe also offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel in time. There are rules you must stick to. You have to sit in the right seat, accept the coffee poured for you, and finally, most importantly, you must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. Following on from Toshikazu Kawaguchi's sensational debut, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, in Tales from the Cafe we meet the man seeking the best friend whose daughter he raised as his own, the son who did not come home for his mother's funeral, the lover who travelled to see the girl he couldn't marry, and the aging detective who couldn't save his own wife. Beautifully told and brimming with warmth, Tales from the Cafe explores how we carry our past with us and how far we'd go to see, perhaps for one last time, the ones we love. So this one, the second book in publication order, is actually my least favourite of the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series so far. It is lots of snippets. I mean, all of the Before the Coffee Gets Cold books are snippets of people's lives, of people travelling back in time or even to the future to revisit someone in their life who, for whatever reason, they need to see again, whether that's to remove the guilt they feel for how they treat them, or to say sorry, or to just see them one last time. Going back to see them, you cannot actually change the outcome of what happened to them, i.e. if they passed away, if they moved on, if they married someone else, but you can help yourself. It's almost like therapy of revisiting the situation to heal yourself. It does still bring you to happy tears and sad tears, but I gave this one 3 stars out of 5 because it just felt very samey to the first book, and at this point I wasn't quite sure how this series was going to continue. The third book in publication order is Before Your Memory Fades. This is the first one I got in hardback and signed, and this one really delves into grief, loss, depression and anxiety, and it's also where we first get to see someone doing a future visit, so travelling forward in time rather than back. Let me read you guys the blurb. The third novel in Toshikazu Kawaguchi's sensational Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. On the hillside of Mount Hakodate in northern Japan, Cafe Donna Donna is fabled for its dazzling views of Hakodate port. But that's not all. Cafe Donna Donna offers its customers the extraordinary experience of travelling through time, and Nagari and Kazu are back to guide 4 new patrons. There are rules to follow. You can only meet people who have visited the cafe. You must stay seated in your chair, and most importantly, you must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. In Before Your Memory Fades, we meet the daughter who resents her deceased parents for leaving her orphaned, the comedian who aches for his beloved and their shared dreams, the sisters whose grief has become all-consuming, and the man who realized his love for his childhood friend. Heartwarming and poignant, Kawaguchi explores how holding on to the past can affect our future, and asks the reader, would you travel in time if your actions couldn't change the present? So we actually do travel to a different cafe in this. It's a cafe still owned by the same family, but they've gone to the seaside, and to be honest, I did need that change of scenery and change of view, because as I said, the second book I just found very samey, so that kind of saved the third book for me. I gave this 4 stars out of 5. I did enjoy it much better than the second. The fourth book in publication order is Before We Say Goodbye, and I absolutely love the sakura blossom on this one. So each book has 4 stories within it, and this one, the first 3, I was like, it's just the same, it's beautiful, it's heartfelt, it's warming, it makes you cry happy and sad tears, but it's the same thing until the last story in this one, and that last story broke me, and I mean serious. I felt like I needed to go talk to someone about the last story in this. It absolutely broke my heart entirely, which really saved this book for me. Oh my god. Let me read you guys the blurb for this one. The 4th novel in Toshikazu Kawaguchi's internationally best-selling Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. The regulars at the magical cafe Funakula are well acquainted with its famous legend and extraordinary time travel offering. Many patrons have reunited with old flames, made amends with estranged family, and visited loved ones. But the journey is not without risks, and there are rules to follow. Travellers must have visited the cafe before, and crucially must return to the present in the time it takes their coffee to go cold. In the tradition of Toshikazu Kawaguchi's sensational Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, readers will once again be introduced to a new set of visitors. The husband with nothing important left to say, the woman who couldn't bid her dog farewell, the woman who couldn't answer a proposal, and the daughter who drove her father away. Featuring signature heartwarming characters and wistful storytelling in the beautifully haunting Before We Say Goodbye, Kawaguchi asks, who would you visit if you could travel through time? As I say, the last story broke me. I also really enjoyed that we were back at Funikula, and we also had a visitation regarding a dog, which was quite refreshing. But honestly, it was the last story that really boosted this one for me, and I gave this 5 stars out of 5. I'm still broken. And the final book in Toshikazu Kawaguchi's series in publication order is Before We Forget Kindness. And I love this one because it's green, and green is my favourite colour. But let me read you guys the blurb for this one. The 5th novel in Toshikazu Kawaguchi's internationally best-selling Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. Back in the mysterious Tokyo cafe where customers come hoping to travel in time, 4 new guests are about to arrive. Each of them holds a desire in their heart that only this special place can fulfill. They must follow the cafe's strict rules, however, and come back to the present before their coffee goes cold. The cafe will welcome a father who could not allow his daughter to get married, a woman who couldn't give Valentine's Day chocolates to her loved one, a boy who wants to show his smile to his divorced parents, and a widow holding a child with no name. Another moving and heartwarming tales from Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And Before We Forget Kindness, our new visitors wish to go back into their past to find closure and comfort so they can embark on a beautiful future. This one, again, I was worried that I was going to be bored of the concept of the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series with the cafe and customers returning back and forth to the past and the future. However, in this one, we do actually focus quite a bit more on the people's lives outside of the cafe. So each character, yes, you see them in the cafe, and yes, they have to do their reconciliation and their healing within the cafe. But it also takes you outside the cafe and actually shows you the events happening. So you actually get to go out into Japan, which was a refreshing take and made it more enjoyable. And I gave this 4 stars out of 5. So that is the publication order of the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. However, the second way to read it is actually in the timeline order of the stories itself. So although each of these books is 4 separate short stories about one particular customer either going forward or back in time, there is also a story that runs throughout. There's the story of the ghost in the cafe, the one who inhabits the seat. You can only take the ghost's place when they leave to go to the bathroom. You want to know that ghost story, you want to know who they are, you want to know how they get there. There's also the personal lives of the cafe owners and workers themselves. There is a husband and a wife and a child. There is the loss of a parent. There is a traveling cousin. There's quite a lot going on in there. You get to see this child grow up in the cafe also. There's also the why is one of the coffee pourers so silent? How does she know things? So there are these stories that go throughout, and that's a benefit of reading them in the order of the story timeline itself. So let's get into the second way to read the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. I will say, because we are going to be doing this in the story timeline order, there will be spoilers for the major plot lines, so do bear that in mind. If you don't want to hear the parts about the story that could give away the story timeline, but you do still want to know the order if you want to read it in timeline order, then in the comments below this video I will actually write the publication order and the timeline order out for you. So do just go into the information of the video and just copy that order. Then you can come back after you've read the series in that order to hear about the story timeline. Whilst going through the timeline order of these books, I will actually give you the full review. I'll pop it up on screen that I gave each book. In this one, we still do start with the Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This is still the first book in the series in timeline order as well as publication order. In this one, Kai is pregnant and alive. For this one, my full review is: first, to get it out the way, the front cover has a cat. There is no cat in this book. We all know my priorities on this channel. Beyond this disappointment, I loved this book. At first I was apprehensive. I thought it was 4 short stories. The writing style wasn't what I was expecting and there was no cat. but this is not 4 short stories. It's 4 points of view, 4 journeys which intertwine with one another. Whilst you're reading one story, you're getting hints of the next. The writing style and setting is that of a playwright, which you'd expect as that is what the author is. The whole story takes place in the cafe and is heavily character driven. It tells rather than shows to some extent. However, I've come to accept this as a style of translated Japanese literature and rather enjoy the simplicity of it. Really quick, easy read. The second book in timeline order is Before We Say Goodbye. In this one, at this point, Kai has passed away. My review of this one is, alright, I need to talk to someone after finishing this book. The last story, my heart. I loved the different directions the 4th book went in. I was jarred at first. We've gone back in time, whereas the first 3 are linear, but the stories in this I thought were some of the best. It left me sad, happy, and with the question of when is Nagari finally going to see Kai. One thing I still need to answer to, where is the cat? Every book cover has a cat, where be it, we got a dog. So you can see in my review there that is the 4th book in publication order, but is the 2nd in the timeline order. The 3rd book is Before We Forget Kindness. This is a interim period. And at this point, Mickey, the daughter, is not yet old enough to pour the coffee. So we really are in like a little interim here. The review for this one, I was worried as the 5th book that this was going to feel too samey. But in this installment, the stories focus on the characters' lives outside of the cafe and shows you this instead of always having the character tell you their tale. Like the last book, the final story was my favourite. No tears this time though. We then skip forward roughly 7 years, and that's actually when Tales from the Cafe comes in. And this is short stories about the cafe. This is when Mickey is a child, and it's like going back to them during this interim of seeing the child grow up. The review for this one, it made me tear up, feel pure joy and sadness. The 2nd book delves more into depression and loss further than the first. We see our beloved characters again and of course new customers to the cafe. I thoroughly enjoyed this quick read and the meanings behind each story. And finally we have Before Your Memory Fades. This is around 15 years after the 1st book and is when the daughter is now pouring the coffee. And the final one, we are starting to see more people visiting the future in this, which is really fun. It delves further into grief, loss, depression, and also anxiety. You can see my reviews get a little bit shorter there. So this is the order if you want to read the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series in timeline order of the books. Look below in the information for this video. I've written out the publication order and the timeline order, so you can experiment with which way you want to read it. I think I'm going to actually reread them in the timeline order because I originally read them in publication order. But the new book that's coming out, just for fun, let's read the blurb for this one. In a special seat in a fabled Tokyo cafe, you're offered something irresistible. Not just a warm, comforting coffee, but the chance to go back in time to revisit the ones you love. In Before I Knew I Loved You, Toshikazu Kawaguchi takes us back to the warm heart of the mysterious Funakula Cafe with another 4 guests whose luminous stories of love, loss, and won again will reaffirm your belief in its eternal potential. In this book, we meet the girl who couldn't call her mother and yearns to reconnect with her, the man who waited for a reply from his girlfriend and never heard from her, the woman anxious to travel ahead to know what her future holds, and the student who travels back to meet his father again, who passed away many years before. Yet the same rules always apply. You must return before the coffee gets cold, and while it does, memories are revisited, people are changed forever, and the enduring power of love transcends the boundaries of time. The 6th book in the phenomenal best-selling series, translated from Japanese, Before I Knew I Loved You, asks the irresistible, what would you do if you were offered the chance to go back in time? And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. If you like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post my bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!